Hello. Good morning. Myself Anish, and I am working in Drupal Consulting. With me is my fellow Drupal contributors Unnikrishnan and Santhosh, and also with me is Dickhardt. So he's a legend in identity world, and he is the man behind Auth 2. And a few months ago, I happened to notice an article from Proofpoint. It says that over 99% of organizations they monitor were targeted for the user takeover accounts attacks. So let's think about it. That's like almost every organization, and still the websites we build actually starts from this. That is the little box showing asking for username and password. So it is like building the skyscrapers on sand. We patch things up on the top asking for like two-factor authentication, captcha, verification links and everything. But the foundation is still fragile. So we have normalized something that is actually clearly broken, and this is not just a security problem, it is an identity problem. So with that, we actually have AI into the mix. So what happens now is it actually hit kind of fast forward, and the phishing emails now sound almost perfectly human, and fake login pages doesn't look fake like before, and attackers don't need to guess your password anymore, and they can just persuade you to hand it just over. And everything that was actually already fragile is like breaking like at a record speed. And that's what I think. That is, we are actually trying to secure the same old system, and this is not the issue with the tools itself, but it is like how we design the identity itself. So what's actually broken about it? So I kind of spoke with developers and those who designed the enterprise systems, and there is no kind of unified systems or some things like that. So everyone actually implements what they like, and it is like fragmented and inconsistent. So this is the state of identity today. It is like all fragmented and repetitive. That means like every app tries to reinvent everything again. Same flows, that is username, password, reset link, and it is like everyone is like fragile as before. And SSO already exists, but it is only for the top end of the market. Everyone actually doesn't integrate SSO like from the first. Everyone still goes back to username, password, and it is actually very painful to integrate also. So that is also still not a good way. And even in a big organization, so identity life cycle is mostly manual. People join, leave, so identity still lingers, and I think I still have access to many of the old accounts from my older companies, and security gaps are there. It is like waiting to be just exploited. And decentralized identity is like sounds good, but it is like a three-way call start. So issuer, user and verifier, they all has to agree on the same thing before it is we can actually adopt that. So looking at all this, it is clear that the thing that we actually have today doesn't scale. And what if we could actually kind of start over? So yeah, this is about the future of identity. We are actually thinking about a neutral identity interchange. So let's say identity system where we have a trusted network that's connecting these three people, that is issuer, verifier and users. And identity can move securely between the parties. And there is one integration for all the identity needs. Instead of rebuilding the login, verification, and lifecycle flows, like there should be one integration that actually handles everything. It is simple for both users and developers. And we can kind of automate this kind of lifecycle. So when people kind of join, they get this access, and when they just go, this access actually has to be removed, and without any kind of manual tasks. And the identity should be reusable, so not only for one organization or something, it should be reusable across everyone. So what Drupal can do for this? So one thing is Drupal actually has this kind of reach. It is already trusted by governments, universities, and communities worldwide, and it is already open. So it's not only open source, it is based on open standards and collaboration, and we already have a huge global community, and we actually have user choice. So Drupal is designed based on privacy and simplicity as the core itself. So I'm inviting Unnikrishnan to take over.
Hi, my name is Unni. So what we face when we try to add identity provider in Drupal. Okay, so when we try to integrate an identity provider with Drupal, there are so many choices, like we can add Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter, Apple, Google, or anything like that. So for that, we need to go and register with all of these IDPs and get their keys and configure in our Drupal website. So we thought maybe we can do something simple, we can make it something simple. So we found this Hello. So what Hello does is like what Visa do in payments. Okay, imagine the situation like you are a store owner or you are selling something. So instead of connecting with different banks, if what Hello is doing is like what Visa is doing in the payments. So instead of if you are a store owner, instead of connecting with the different banks, if you integrate with the Visa, all your customers can use, you don't need to integrate with each and every banks in this world. Like customers can use their Visa card to pay for their purchases. The same way, when we integrate with Hello in Drupal, we don't need to go and we don't need to register with all these IDPs. The Hello will abstract away all those complications for you, and you can integrate with Hello within 5 minutes. That's the good, the easiest thing to integrate an IDP with Drupal. And also the price is already privacy focused. Like think this way, like if you have a Facebook login or a Twitter login in your website, so then they can track like where are you are logging in with your credentials, right? So Hello will abstract away all these things, like how a VPN will hide your online presence from your service providers. The same way, Hello can abstract away all those things from these IDPs. So that's the best thing about Hello. So so this is what and Hello and how we integrate with Hello. Hello already using OpenID Connect. So we already have all the libraries for OpenID Connect exist. So it is easy to integrate. As I said, it's only take 5 minutes for me to integrate Hello in a Drupal website. I will so it will do all this stuff for us. Let me fragmented repetitiveness. Okay, so you can, if when you use Hello, you don't need to think about Facebook or Twitter or Apple or anything like that. So all of things will be taken care of by Hello. Then SSO. So all these things. Okay, let me show you So it will natural identity, single integration, automations, user control model. Everything will be handled by this Hello itself. So you can choose a lot of set of identities for your website. You don't need to configure any of these things. So let me show you a demo how we do that. So this is a fresh Drupal installation. Wait a second.
I think you have to mirror.
But okay, just give me a second.
Displays.
Which one?
I think you have to.
Let's okay. Can you see this and do this? Yeah. Yeah.
So when you install this Hello module, I will show you how the login will work. So when you click on this login, you will see a button here for login with Hello, continue with Hello. So when you click here, it will, let me do these things for now. So you get a different ID providers from, so your client can choose any of these ID provider to log in with. So there are so many options for them. So in this case, maybe I will choose Twitter for login. When I click on the Twitter, it will redirect to Hello. There I will authorize this the same way how we do with the normal IDP flow. So I will get logged into this Drupal website using my Twitter account. So how to configure this? Is it a, I will show you how we configure the module. Let me log in as admin. So here we can we don't need to do anything here. We can only choose which IDPs I need to support. So all the IDPs I need to support, I can select here. And when clicking on this button, it will automatically register with Hello. So you don't need to register with each providers like Facebook, GitHub, Google, or anything like that. So first, once you install this module, you generate an app ID, then you are good to go. Then you will redirect it to the Hello. There you can just a minimal configuration you need to do. After that, your Drupal website can log in with any of these IDPs. Okay. So for Q&A, I'm inviting Dickhardt. Any questions?
Questions, anyone?
There's one question.
Sorry.
I think I'm now enough.
It's for the recording. For the recording.
Use a Adapter outside of Drupal. Does this store any user data outside of Drupal? This provider?
Yeah. Give you
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So the question is, does it store data outside of Drupal? Well, the goal is for how do you get user data into Drupal, and so all of that data is coming from somewhere else already.
Yeah, yes, I think so, but
And so unlike, say, a system like Auth0 or WorkOS or Clerk, right, where those systems are the data store for an application, Hello doesn't work like that. Hello, you send the user over to Hello, you say what you want, Hello gathers that data and then sends the user back with that data to Drupal, where you get stored in the Drupal storage.
okay, thank you.
I guess. I wish we had like T-shirts or something so that like whoever asks questions wins a prize. How about like I'll stand in line for someone to get a cappuccino later on if they ask a question? Must be some questions. If you have any questions about identity stuff, I can probably answer those. So I helped found the OpenID Foundation. I led the design of OAuth. I'm super active in the OAuth and OpenID standards still. Any random question around any of those things? No? Yes. You get. I'll stand in line for a cappuccino for you. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Okay.
Thank you. I just wanted to ask about passkeys or YubiKeys.
Okay.
Could you maybe use that to log into Drupal or something?
So the objective of Hello is to, instead of in Drupal having to go and add all these different ways that somebody could log in, and then in Drupal having to manage that and the user having to manage all the different ways of logging in, is that you just send them over to Hello, and then they can choose at Hello how they want to log in. And then they can change their mind on how they want to log in without impacting Drupal. So if they want to, say they decide they trust Facebook to start, and then they decide, oh, I don't like Facebook anymore, I want to use something else, then they could change their mind to something else. Your passkey question, we actually had support for passkeys, that you could use passkeys to log into Hello, and we pulled it out because there's still challenges in the user experience and management of passkeys at some level. So I'm a huge fan of passkeys as a second factor. The challenge with passkeys is they wanted to sort of collapse username and password all into one thing. And so if you don't know which user it is, then you don't know which credential you want to get. And so that makes the experience much harder, where if somebody's already used their first factor to log in, now you know which credential to ask for. And so that removes most of the issues in passkeys. Yeah, I could share a whole bunch of other thoughts because I know most of the people driving that standard as to maybe not such great choices they made in designing it. Yeah, that was probably more answer than you wanted, but you'll still get a cappuccino later. Okay. Huh. Okay, another question.
So what if I log in with, for example, Google,
Yeah.
and the next time I want to log in, like, I don't know, LinkedIn, for example, can you check?
Horrible second choice, but go on.
Just an example. So does the module detect that it's the same person somehow, or is there any?
Right, so the module is what connects to Hello that's in Drupal, and then Hello itself is a service. And so we do in Hello work to prevent what in the industry we call fragmentation of accounts, where I'm sure you've all experienced at some point, you go to a site, you log in, and you like Google today, and then 6 months later
you succumb to Apple's privacy marketing and you decide to log in with Apple, and then you wonder where all your stuff went because they don't know it's the same person, right? So we work on managing that in Hello, and so when somebody chooses their preferred provider, we encourage them to set up some backup providers so that then we know those are all the same account. And so that then later they come back and they pick one of the other providers. Well, we know it's the same user, and then we get them to log in with their preferred provider. But if they lost access to their preferred provider, they can just log in with their other backup provider and they still have access. And so we do all of that at Hello, so that over in Drupal you don't have to worry about it.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. And LinkedIn's a bad login choice for a bunch of reasons. Okay. We don't support LinkedIn because their terms of service don't allow you to use LinkedIn if you think you might have more than 100,000 users. Okay. How many people connect their Drupal system to an enterprise? Like with single sign-on to one person. Okay, a number of people, right? And so do you create just yet another username and password, or have you set single sign-on up with the enterprise? You've set up single sign-on? So it's a SAML plugin or something like that? OpenID. Whose provider? Who do you connect to?
We created our own. So
You created your own.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So we
Yes.
have our, like a global site with all the IDs, and then we have all sub-sites which use it.
Okay.
Drupal is both IDP and SP for us.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, which is a common architecture to chain IDPs together. So at Hello, we also connect to enterprises for SSO, and we have a model where we separate somebody using their personal account from their managed account, so that because they might actually have both a personal access and a managed access in the same app. It may not be common in Drupal per se, but if it is, it's there. But for many apps, people have might have a personal and a commercial account. So we allow those to be separated. And so essentially you're able to go and get enterprise SSO in that same connection to Hello without you having to do anything different. And then we do discovery to figure out where the person logs in, and we log them in through their provider without you having to do any config in Hello, in Drupal. And now we're also working on the whole lifecycle deprovisioning as well, so that then when the user's deprovisioned, that signal flows through to Drupal. Do you guys use Skim at all for provisioning? So when the person leaves, the account just stays there until somebody goes and deletes it? Yeah. So with Hello, we'll have a feature where when the user's deprovisioned from the directory, a signal comes through to either delete or suspend or archive the account in Drupal.
We have separate system which
We have separate thing which gives people access to, for a given time period. So basically, if they expire, they will not have access anymore, and so they have to renew because it's all paid access basically.
I see.
So they have subscriptions which expire.
but users are not deleted.
Right, but the data sits around still. Yeah. How many people use GitHub in their org? And so I'm going to talk about another thing we're doing, which is we're also syncing up doing deprovisioning out of GitHub, so that, like, if you want, GitHub credentials are sort of one of the most challenging security credentials, because often it's somebody's personal account, and then their personal account gets added into the GitHub organization, and then even though they might not have SSO through the corporate SSO anymore, they'll still have access to GitHub because it's their personal credentials, and most GitHub orgs are from your own machine's credentials, access in. And so everyone has to remember that when you deprovision somebody, to go over and take them out of GitHub. The provisioning part is usually not so much a problem because you hired somebody and when they can't access, they say, hey, I don't have access, I can't do my job, and people remember to put them in. But the deprovisioning, becomes a challenge. And so we're building because we already have the code to go and connect into the corporate directory, we're building a bridge over into GitHub that will automate the linking of the personal GitHub account to the corporate account. And then when the person is deprovisioned from the corporate account, that flows through and they get deprovisioned from the GitHub org in an automated fashion. That we're going to give away for free because we want to raise the bar in security for software companies to go and improve that, because that's one of the big holes in software supply chain, and it's your core IP is in GitHub. So. Have we run out of time yet, or do I get to continue to ramble on here for a while and see if I can come up with any jokes? I've already got one cappuccino order in. If not, thanks for these guys did a great job of building the plugin. They just wanted to build the plugin, and I provided tech support for them, and then they bribed me somehow to come and show up and support them here, so I did. So, okay, thank you. And if anyone's around, I'm going to be around all day tomorrow. I'm a big fan of community stuff. Has anyone ever heard of the company ActiveState? Anyone like programming? Okay, so I founded ActiveState back in the 90s with Tim O'Reilly. We were one of the first open source companies, like 2 years before open source had been defined as a term. So I'm a huge open source fan, big fan of community, so I'm going to go and see what I can do to help people around identity stuff, because that's what I focus on now, tomorrow. So feel free to walk up and chat with me. Okay, thanks again.